Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is 16AGR Durham. It's 0:37 Eastern Standard Time on the 12th of February 2021. Here to show you the progress that myself and Erutuon, together with help from Grinelli Designs and his team, have made in making the primary flight display indicator a sort of reality inside Anubis's amazing C130-J Hercules Mod. So if we bring you to the right side of the cockpit, we see the placeholder display that Anubis put in from initial release, which shows you roughly what this display would look like. That was a picture file, and I saw that and thought, how hard would it be to make a real one? So 3 months later, we find out how hard it would be, and we have the basics of that display. Working from left to right, we've got an airspeed indicator measured in knots. We have an indicator here. We have rolling numbers, so the 1 is above the 0, the 9 is below the 1, roll down, roll up. I think that's the first time I've seen this kind of rotary display done on a digital indicator in DCS, and it's really helpful both on the airspeed and indeed on the altitude, for giving you another reference for rate of change. Underneath the airspeed indicator is a tape that measures airspeed in 20s with ticks in the 10s. Only other point of note is there's a fixed number here. Well, it's fixed in position, but it moves depending on the highest number shown. The highest number shown here, you can see the bottom of the 80. So 80 plus 20 is 100. So as soon as 100 is shown, then that number will click up to 120. Let's come to the middle. Got the attitude direction indicator. Brown is Earth, blue is sky, aircraft datum, showing the pitch of the aircraft, working on ladder line solid up and dash below with the degrees itemized on each line through to plus or minus 80. And then the bottom and integral with this indicator is the roll or bank indicator, centered at 0. Here's the arrow, 5, 10, 15, 30, 60, and clamped at 60, at which time the aircraft will warn you are over bank. Moving next to the right, we have a vertical velocity indicator showing the vertical velocity between plus and minus 3,000 feet per minute. Of note is the fact that half of this 6,000 feet is taken up between the 2,000 feet, half of this 6,000 feet per minute scale is taken up between plus and minus 1,000, so that's a third, but it's a half, which is another way of saying the scale is twice as sensitive between plus or minus 1,000 as it is between plus 1 to plus 3, or minus 1,000 feet per minute to minus 3,000. And then obviously this little white fella here with his hat on, hat up means you're climbing, hat down means you're descending. He's the indicator and he moves up and down this range. So he's really sensitive in here, less sensitive here, and he goes out of range either at plus or minus 3,000. Coming right, we've got the barometric altimeter, got 20 feet increments here, then hundreds, and then thousands, and then 10,000s. Underlying that, we have a numeric tape that is denominated numerically in 500s. Then you've got 4 ticks between the 500s, so 600, 700, 800, 900, and then there's your 1,000. Coming down here, left, we've got the ground speed indicator, so aircraft speed over the ground, which is measured in knots and does what it says on the tin. Below we have the G meter, we're stationary, we're on the ground, we're at 1 G, which is what the Earth delivers. Well, the Earth doesn't deliver it, the Earth sort of provides it, sucks it in. Don't know what the right word is, but anyway, there's a round Earth and it has gravity, and we measure that at 1 when you're on the ground. So we now have a compass rose here, green with the cardinals, east, north, west, south, the bits in the middle, and lots of ticks, 10s and 5s, and then we've got an arrow to indicate that we're a little bit left of east. In fact, we're 2 degrees left of east, which is why we're showing 088. And if we go upstairs, we correlate with the HUD at 088. Coming right, we have the AGL, the output from the radar altimeter, which shows the altitude above the ground, as it suggests, and that number goes from a floor of 15 all the way to 50,000 feet, or at least we think it does. Not that you'll ever get there. And coming right from that, we have the pressure setting, which talks to the barometric altimeter, currently set to standard pressure 29902, and there's 29902 on the pressure setting, and there's the radar altimeter in the HUD at 15, at which point we press unpause and we zoom out and we look up. And first thing we see is airspeed indicator comes alive above 30, which it did on both, so we're 50, 50, 60, 60. We can see this thing speeding up. We're looking for about 100 something to take off. I didn't check the VREFs, but there's 105. So we're now going to pull the stick back. Looking to the VVI positive rate of climb and gear up. And there's a dump, just to check. Gear is up, and the left shift F should bring the flaps up. Hoping so. So continuing to climb at 500 feet per minute, which I'm doing with this display here. And we're getting quite fast, so we can sort of pitch to climb airspeed. So now the airspeed is coming down. Just what we'd expect as we climb out. We don't know what the best climb speed is. My guess somewhere around 200 knots, so let's pitch for 200 knots. So we're losing airspeed, gaining altitude. That's what the airplane looks like. Good. So now we can start pitching down. Using the ADI in the middle here. And I'm going to pause here. The major shout out to us, and mainly Erutuon, is that we've actually got these rotary dials working. So I can see, even though I've got a vertical velocity indicator, I can just see by the rate of change of these two numbers what my altitude is. I mean, this guy's helpful. He tells me I'm going up, so the numbers are so blurry that I can't see what's going on. I know I'm going up, but this fella is, the rate of change in these numbers is effectively giving my VVI, and the rate of change in these numbers is giving me my accelerometer, which is a thing that we need to build into the HUD about here. There's a greater than sign that comes into the HUD that tells you whether you're accelerating or not, which is currently not implemented. So if I just show that and just pull it up, there's the altimeter going batshit, there's the airspeed indicator going batshit, all of which you'd expect from a really aggressive climb. We're now way too slow. We're at 10,000. So we can see the other feature, the AGL box used to end here because it had 4 digits. Now it expands. That went so fast that we missed that. So let's just go down at 1,000 feet per minute and we'll see the AGL box do its magic once we hit 10,000. Oh, sorry, 99999. There you go. Just missed it. And now we're gonna now you've done it again. So the only other thing to show you is, yes, the aeroplane, the bank indicator does indeed clamp at 60, at which point the voice enunciator comes in, and then we've shown you already that the compass still works. And if we hit here, and we were at 343, so this thing's saying 350, and the magvar in the Caucasus is -6, so 350 minus 6 is 344, and we're at, oh, amazingly, we're at 344, and we're at 344 up here, because we're showing magnetic heading, not true heading, because magnetic heading's generally what you get out of these instruments. So, the only other thing question to answer is, okay, that's very interesting, so how did you do this? And you did this with a lot of files that look like this in GIMP. So you have the image files. Here's a box that, what's this? This is the AGL box. So the box here is drawn by, well, it's not actually, because there are two of them, but there's a box file that is just a box, and then inside the box you put the text. So, and this here, this compass, took me many hours to draw copy and pasting around a circle, all these little and big ticks. So that's just a picture, and then you rotate the picture in your lure, and amazingly you get a compass rose. Then you correlate this thing with your heading and shove it in the middle. There's more lure goes on these indicators because they're text that we're drawing at given positions. So what we're doing is we're coming in, we're saying what's the airspeed? About 307 and a bit. So floor that to the nearest 20, you get 300, so that's that number. So we need to show you the next number down, which is 280, and below that 260, one above it 320, one above it 340 plus 20, 360, unless that 340 passes, in which case it'll become 380. So the technology involved is GIMP and then lure, and lots of lure, lots of loops, lots of functions inside lure. But basically, if you can do GIMP and draw stuff like that, and gets a bit more complicated. I mean, there's the file that, it's not hard, is it? There's the file that draws that, and then you use Lure to place that static text object using the font, the custom font inside the display wherever you like. Anyway, we've obviously got lots more to do. The two obvious things are, or the two things we're missing are, A, the autopilot. So you can see here the speed is set at 200. There's an indicator here for the speed at 200. Here the autopilot set at 10,500, indicator at 10,500. So that needs doing. Then the next thing is there's a flight path marker here, which we messed around with, didn't implement, but we need to do. There's, as I spoke about, there's an accelerometer here, so this thing will go up if you're accelerating and down if you're not. And then as we get down here, we're into horizontal situational indicator display with a course deviation indicator, so you need a heading and a course, and then collapse that number to that number. But it's more than that because we've got nav1 and nav2. So there's nav1. In this case it's 126 Yankee at MCN, and it's there. And then we've got this thing at ATL, which is here at 330. No, the 330 is the course, the heading bug. And then haven't quite figured out what that does. And then we've got the ILS giving a repeater. So and then we've got the glide slope indicator here. So there are two big things to do. I think we'll do one. We'll do the autopilot before the nav, but first we need to integrate the autopilot, and then secondly we need to integrate the nav systems. But anyway, I hope you think that this is a big improvement, being dynamic over that, and that you enjoy the version 6.3, which should include this component. And with that, I bid you all good night. Many thanks. Bye bye.